All right, we have an opponent. I would love to play first. So here we'd go Signal Pest into Ethereum Sculptor into Ethereum Sculptor Walking Ballista. I don't know that's good enough. So let's see. Signal Pest into Ethereum Sculptor, nothing. And then I feel like we have to mulligan this hand. It doesn't really have a lock piece, and it doesn't also have a combo piece. And I don't think that this is going to be enough damage. Although we get free Walking Ballistas on turn 2. No, turn 3. Turn 3 we have a free Walking Ballista, and the turn after that we have a Walking Ballista for 2. It still seems pretty slow to me, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this hand. This hand I'm more inclined to keep. It has 2 lock pieces. We can put this island back. Maybe we put the Ornithopter back. I think we just put the Ornithopter back. We keep this. Put the Ornithopter back. It's a card we can cast if we find the Mystic Forge. And then we can also Thorn on 2 and then play Ravager the turn after that. And then if we draw a land, we can play Lodestone Golem after that and then just kind of go off from there. Looks like we're playing against Dredge, most likely. Dredge has slowed down a little bit. That was a very good draw. So, unlike normal Affinity, this deck will be a little bit slower, but cards like Master of Ethereum give it a pretty good pop. And Thorn of the Amethyst being a very good draw here because they most likely kept a hand with Cathartic Reunion. Cathartic Reunion costs 2 mana, so it slows them down a turn. So if I play Chief Engineer, I'll have 1, 2, okay. So Chief Engineer plus Arcbound Ravager this turn, and then next turn we can go Master of Ethereum or Lodestone Golem, depending on what we draw. I'd probably go Lodestone Golem. Just like taxing them the most, I think, is going to be good. Yeah, and they have like a pretty slow hand here. Just pop that out so it stops moving everywhere. They're most likely going to discard another Dredger. This is pretty decent. All right, so what can we do here? So if I do this, I have 3 creatures, and then tap one of those creatures, play the Vault Scourge. That's 3 creatures, but if I play Lodestone Golem, I can use the Lodestone Golem to cast the Vault Scourge, and then next turn play Master. I think I like that the most. I don't think I need to stop on their draw step anymore. So they dredge Stinkweed Imp, which means they really can't... well, they can't cast Stinkweed Imp right now. Looks like they messed up. I think they don't realize that they can't cast Stinkweed Imp. I think they're trying to cast Stinkweed Imp, and they just like can't. Because of the Lodestone Golem. Tomestar is going to get Narcomoeba, which gets both prized amalgams back, which is pretty good for them. All right, Ethereum Sculptor is a decent draw. I think I like doing this. Oh, right, it only costs 2. I should have convoked... I guess it doesn't matter. So they're at 10. Ooh, 2 Narcomoebas. It's a couple of decent blockers. They still don't have Conflagrate. Conflagrate's like one of the better cards against us, but also Conflagrate costs a lot of mana. Costs a lot of their cards. Here they get to be back a Bloodghast. They still can't cast any more spells. The taxing part of the deck has been very good so far. And if we ever draw like a Mystic Forge, I think we just kind of go off. So hopefully we can find one of those. Another Thorn of the Amethyst does kind of stop their progress, but I think I'm going to crack this Waterlog Grove first. Okay, Signal Pest for free. Signal Pest is a worse blocker than the Chief Engineer. I guess it doesn't matter. I can just play the Thorn. The question is, can I kill them? Oh, right. It's a non-creature spell, so I do have to pay 2. So, like, the reduction here, but then the addition here, so then I do have to pay 1 more. So I'm going to tap Signal Pest here. So if I attack with Vault Scourge, they double block here most likely. If I attack with the Lodestone Golem, they can double block here. If I attack with the Master, they could quadruple block, but I don't know that that matters. Then I'd probably just sacrifice Radiver to itself and take out all of them. What if I attack with everybody? How did they block? So let's see. Say if I attack with everybody, they have to block here. They have to block here. They block here, and then they block here, and then can I kill them with this? So let's see. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we're a little bit short. And then, so like I don't want to make it... I guess they probably don't... I think they could have like Lightning Axe, I guess. So let's see. And if they block like the way I said they'd block... Block here, block here, block here, block here. Then they're just suicide blocking. If they block like here, here, then we can just kill them with Lodestone Golem. So I think an all-out attack is like fine. I don't like attacking with Chief Engineer though. So let's see. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they still can't cast anything? Right? Let me just double check. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Seven. This is 8. Alright. So they could cast something, but knowing most Dredge lists, they can't cast enough things, so yeah. Alright. So against Dredge, we want Relic, and we want Gravedigger's Cage. Obviously, Gravedigger's Cage doesn't work super well with Mystic Forge, but I think it's one of those matchups where, like, if we have a Gravedigger's Cage in play, then they can't really function as a deck, and if we have Mystic Forge in play, I think we're still winning. So I like that combination. This is a matchup where I don't particularly like Signal Pest, so I'm going to go ahead and board out Signal Pest. It gets a little bit better with Master of Ethereum, but they have cards like Narcomoeba, they have cards like Stinkweed Imp, they have cards like, what's it called? The Conflagrate, so just like boarding out your X1s, especially since normally this card doesn't get blocked. In this matchup, it will get blocked by Narcomoebas and Stinkweed Imps. The Delicious Waffles, thank you for the follow. And I'm trying to figure out what the other board out is. It could be a Mystic Forge here. I think it probably is. I like Mystic Forge a lot, but boarding in the Gravedigger's Cage is kind of a nombo. With this card, I don't know that I want to board out any of our other pieces. Ravager is obviously very good. Walking Ballista is pretty decent, especially if you can play it for a higher number, something like 3 or 4. It's obviously something great to like reload on in this matchup. I like the Lodestone Golems. I like the Thorn of the Amethyst. They're a deck that, while it doesn't use mana right away, it does use mana pretty. It needs to use mana to like kill these cards. So like trying to lock them out of playing things like Ancient Grudge and Assassin's Trophy is very good. So I think I like how this is situated. Could play something like Hangerback Walker. Hangerback Walker might be very good. This hand is great. This hand is very, very good. We have one of our hate pieces, and we have a couple of lock pieces, which is very, very good. They get a Narcomoeba and a Creeping Shell off their Tome Scour, and a Dredge card. That is the one downside to Cage, is that it doesn't stop them from dredging cards. So if they do have a card, say like Shenanigans, they could dredge it back, but they can't play Ancient Grudge here, which is very good for us. Blast Zone does blow up the Gravedigger's Cage, which is unfortunate. But it is slow, so that is a positive for us. Going to play this as a blocker. There goes a Nature's Claim. My assumption is that they're just going to try to get to Blast Zone, and then they can cast things like Ancient Grudge and stuff like that. Our hope is that we get to play Lodestone Golem before then. Or maybe find like a Relic of Progenitus or something. So this is the turn where they get to blow up their Blast Zone, but it's going to take a whole turn for them to do that. So my guess here is that they just don't cast anything. Yeah, it does look like Sodek's list. I would assume that that's the list most people would play. So here they're going to pop Blast Zone. And then we're going to go ahead and sacrifice Gravedigger's Cage. And then right now it costs them their entire turn to play Ancient Grudge even. To be my guess for what they're going to cast is Ancient Grudge. But they have quite a few targets that they would want to hit. Looks like they're just going to do it at the end step of our turn. So we'll play this Lodestone Golem, which that forces them to use the Ancient Grudge, otherwise they won't be able to. Targeting Lodestone Golem, so I'll go ahead and sacrifice the Lodestone Golem. For those that don't know, Sodek is the Dredge master, as it is. They mostly play Dredge in Modern. Every once in a while, they're forced to play something different. But with the banning of Faithless Looting, they decided that the deck was still great and put Tome Scour in its spot, and then immediately top-8'd the challenge. The Modern challenge, that is. So they have another Ancient Grudge in the graveyard. Here I think I'm going to crack Waterlogged Grove. Master of Ethereum is a very good draw. Go and attack with all my creatures. And then once again here they can Ancient Grudge. My hope is that they Ancient Grudge Lodestone Golem. And I would assume that they block here. Yep. So they're only going to take one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. I could play Walking Ballista here for 0, and then it gets +1/+1 for Master of Ballista, or Master of Ethereum. But I kind of want this to be kind of like a surprise. And the reasoning is that I can win if they get too low with both Arcbound Ravager plus Walking Ballista. Currently, our Walking Ballista would have a bunch of counters on it. So if they tap low like this, then we should be able to kill them. There's another Blast Zone. They get a bunch of stuff back, but I guess this is the same Blast Zone. It just came back from Life in the Loam. The lucky thing is that these Bloodghast can't block. So our game plan here is just to play Walking Ballista on 2. Another reason why we didn't play it last turn, and then shoot down their Narcomoeba and attack them with everything, and they should die. Okay, well, they kind of found the writing on the wall, I suppose. So we didn't get to do what we did, or what we saw, or what I said, but yeah. So next turn we get to play Walking Ballista. X equals 2, shoot down the Narcomoeba, attack with everybody. Even if they had something like a removal spell, we would still be able to kill them, because if they killed our Master of Ethereum, which they couldn't do because of our Thorn of the Amethyst, but say they kill our Master of Ethereum somehow, then we'd be able to sacrifice that to the Ravager. The Ravager would then get in for 5. Sacrifice this, that'd be for 6. So attacking them for 6 puts them to 5. Sacrifice the Ravager to itself, put all the counters on Walking Ballista, who is at the time a 1/1. It becomes a 7/7, and then it get to shoot them down from 5 to 0. So yeah. And then we could also sacrifice these Darksteel Citadels, etc. So yeah, not too bad. A 2-0 start against Dredge. For those watching on the YouTube recording, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now and then jump into the next game, and we'll see you for the next one.